AI breakthroughs grab headlines, but structural cracks underneath are reshaping enterprise deployment right now. Today, we audit 7 critical shifts. I'm your host on Architect Ledger TV. Let's get into it. OpenAI shipped GPT-5. Here is how it breaks down. The capability ceiling moved. Again. In plain English, this isn't a marginal bump. We're talking reasoning depth, multimodal integration, and context windows that rewrite what you can ask a model to do in production. But here is the catch. Everyone's re-architecting inference stacks right now because throughput requirements just doubled. If you're running enterprise AI, stress test your inference layer immediately against GPT-5 on your actual workloads. Don't wait for the vendor pitch. That detail matters because capability gains force infrastructure redesign faster than you ship code. The architectural takeaway. Every model release is now an infrastructure audit trigger. Satya Nadella keynoted Microsoft Build, and the message was clear. Copilots moving from lab to regulated production. Deeper Azure AI integration, enterprise RAG patterns, tighter security controls for compliance. That brings us to what this signals. The industry's betting AI agents can sit behind governance boundaries now. Here is how it breaks down. Microsoft's standardizing the stack. Copilot Studio, Azure OpenAI, prompt flow orchestration, all native to Azure. The point is crystal clear. If you're on Azure, map your AI workflows into their tooling now. You're not adopting a feature, you're adopting a production platform. The architectural takeaway. Consolidation around orchestration platforms is accelerating hard. VLLM versus SG-Lang versus Hugging Face, TGI. When you run LLMs in production, you're betting your SLA on one of these. Here is the catch. VLLM's still winning on throughput and memory efficiency, but SG-Lang's gaining ground with structured output guarantees and lower latency variance. In plain English, if you need bulletproof SLAs, SG-Lang's the cost. If you're optimizing for per inference cost, VLLM's the move. That detail matters because switching inference engines mid-production is like rewiring a live circuit board. Profile your workload, latency versus throughput versus cost. Then lock in your choice early. The architectural takeaway. Engine selection is destiny, and migration is pain you don't recover from. The EU AI Act's no longer a white paper. It's law. Here is how it breaks down. If you're deploying AI in Europe or serving European users, you need governance maturity models, audit trails for every model decision, fractional AI consultancy baked into your process. This isn't optional. That detail matters because non-compliance fines scale with your revenue, up to 6% of global turnover for high-risk violations. The point is crystal clear. Governance infrastructure is now a first-class citizen in your AI stack. Model cards, data lineage, explainability logging, decision audit trails from day one. Your engineers should know compliance requirements as well as they know API contracts. The architectural takeaway. Regulation forces decentralized decision-making into centralized logging infrastructure. The US just shifted its AI posture. President Trump issued an executive order requesting federal oversight of new AI systems, a checkpoint system, not a ban. Companies can ship, but certain deployments now need federal agency review first. In plain English, the regulatory environment just tightened. But here is the catch. High-stakes AI in healthcare, finance, or critical infrastructure now assumes a regulatory justification phase. Start documenting safety testing, bias audits, and failure modes now. Don't wait for the mandate to materialize. That brings us to the hard reality. Regulatory checkpoints are now part of your shipping timeline. Build for audit from the start. The architectural takeaway. Governance timelines compress, so architecture must account for compliance delays early. Digital pathology just got an AI backbone. Chief, a new diagnostic model trained on cancer histopathology, outpaces human pathologists on specific tumor classifications. Here is how it breaks down. This isn't about replacing pathologists. It's augmentation and speed. Pathologists spend hours analyzing tissue samples. Chief cuts that to minutes with confidence scores you can audit. That detail matters because in clinical settings, trust is infrastructure. The model includes explainability, you see which features it weighted in its decision. If you're building healthcare AI, this is the template. Ship capability alongside interpretability. The point is crystal clear. The architectural takeaway. Domain-specific AI plus explainability plus audit trails equals production-ready in regulated industries. Anthropic just filed for an IPO valued at $1 trillion. That brings us to what this means structurally. The AI safety companies' betting markets will pay premium multiples for safe, interpretable AI. But here is the catch. IPO-bound means Anthropic moves from research first to product-market fit obsession. Claude releases accelerate. Enterprise features harden. Inference prices compress. In plain English, competition just got real. OpenAI has a fiscal deadline now. The point is crystal clear. Venture-scale AI is becoming public market AI, and that changes everything about shipping velocity and cost structure. The architectural takeaway. AI companies hit profitability pressure, which means cheaper inference and faster iteration for every stack downstream. Read VLLM's Inference Optimization Guide on their GitHub. 45 minutes saves you months of tuning. Critical right now because inference engines are your bottleneck in every deployment pattern we just covered. Twin pillars of enterprise AI in 2026: hyper-efficient inference and mandatory regulatory compliance. Ignore either one and your stack collapses. GPT-5 forced the infrastructure question. EU and US orders forced governance. Anthropic's IPO forced cost efficiency. Subscribe and let's audit the shifts together. End.